Hello, Sandra here. I'm sitting in the floor in front of my bed. I don't have my own office, so I'm just kind of recording here on this lovely rug. I posted my first video earlier today. You'll have to excuse me, I'm brand new to Booktube. I don't know all of the nuances and terminology and things that come along with joining Booktube community, so I wasn't aware of this thing called the Booktube Newbie Tag. Even though this is my second video, I'm now going to be doing the Booktube Newbie Tag, where there are a series of questions that are asked and I get to answer them about why I started this channel, what kinds of books I'm interested in reading, and what I'm hoping to get out of this. So I'm going to do that because I like that a lot better than what I previously just put out. It took me hours to put that video together, but that's okay. I'll get faster. Maybe. You can teach an old dog new tricks, right? Anywho, question 1, why did you start this channel? So I have been thinking about starting a book channel for a while. I've had book blogs over the years, but the thing that's difficult for me personally about book blogs is, as a writer myself, I find that when I'm working on my own personal writing projects and then I'm also writing in-depth book reviews on things that I've read, it zaps a lot of my creative energy and just I don't feel like writing as much for me personally. So I wanted to switch mediums and go to video, but apart from that, I've been thinking about doing a book blog kind of channel for years. I am not the most confident person in the world. I just wanted to see how it went. So here I am. You're with me on the floor here as I dip my toe in and navigate this, and hopefully it'll get better and better. I started this channel because if you watched my first video, you know that I am kind of a shy person and it takes a while for me to warm up to people. And now that we're in this dumpster fire that is 2020 and we don't really get to go out to bookstores or meet up at bookshops as much anymore, it's just kind of a weird world. It's the perfect opportunity to start a Booktube channel. I'm really hoping that I can meet a lot of people that like the same kinds of things I do, whether they're video games like Final Fantasy and like old school RPG games or sci-fi fantasy series. I don't really have anyone to talk to about that stuff in my real life, so I'm hoping to meet people who would like to talk about stories as much as I do. So first and foremost, I guess that would be kind of the reason why I started this channel. So question 2, what are some fun and unique things you bring to Booktube? I've never really considered myself a fun person. I have an epic eye roll, so it's something that I'm consciously trying to work on. I can't control how many times I roll my eyes about things, and sometimes it can give people the impression that you're stuck up and kind of bitchy. I'm working on it. I don't know, I'm kind of a rambler, so I'm gonna have to reel that in. We'll just see how it goes. I'm hoping that my true personality can come out through this channel. I'm sure it's going to take several tens of video recordings before that ever happens. Question 3. What are you most excited for about this channel? I feel like I touched on this with question 1. Booktube is like this close-knit community of diverse people, and I just really want to connect with people and be able to talk about series and games and movies or what have you. That's what I hope to get out of it. Question 4, why do you love reading? This is also something I touched on in my first intro video. As a military brat, dad being in the Navy, mom being from overseas, with that we just moved around every few years, and then I would go to the Philippines with my mom to visit family all the time when I was a little kid. I loved reading just because it was always hard for me to open up to people. When you're moving every few years, you lose relationships, especially growing up in the decades that I did and technology wasn't what it is today. There wasn't a really great way to keep in touch with people, so books were kind of an escape for a little girl that was as shy as I was and had zero confidence in herself. So books, stories, imagination, creativity, all of those different channels are kind of why I got into reading. So question 5, what book or series got you into reading? If I try and think back to the earliest books that I read, there was definitely American Girl. I don't know if anyone else in my age group is familiar with those. I remember Samantha's. Also, when I was growing up, this Thoroughbred series was all of the rage. And so I was obsessed with horses when I was a kid, like horse toys. I was always playing with ponies, more ponies than dolls. I went to horse camp when I lived in San Diego, but I was obsessed with this horse racing series. It was just about, it followed different horses, it followed different jockeys. I even like these gallop racer video games where you would breed horses and race them and try and get trophies and things like that. So I don't know. That was kind of a tangent, but I guess that's the point, right? I have two little sisters. One of them was obsessed with reading the Wishbone series, so sometimes I would swipe copies of that and give it a read. Question 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I only follow a handful right now, and I'm hoping to change that. So I'm going to spend some time today following a bunch of booktubers. I guess my questions would be more pertaining to balancing their, upkeeping their channel with their personal life. I'm a mom and doing my own writing. I'm trying to keep my household, diving into this booktube thing. I'm having to learn some of the technical aspect of it. So what resources they use, what people they look to inspire them and give them ideas, and how they stay creative so it stays fun. I never wanted to feel like I'm having to sit down and make myself do something. I want it to always be fun, and I always want it to be interactive with people. So that would probably be the questions that I ask booktubers. Question 7, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? This one is so easy. For me, I have never been a public speaker. Granted, this isn't public speaking. You're watching me talk on this video. I'm an awkward person naturally. I am so awkward. Public speaking is like a nightmare to me. Even I can remember in the 6th grade, we had to get up and introduce ourselves in front of the class and I peed my pants. You're 11 or 12 when you're in the 6th grade. And it made me so nervous, and I always felt like people were judging me or picking me apart, and it's hard to get out of your head. So the biggest challenge for me doing this channel is always going to be thinking about, oh, I'm talking too slow, I'm rambling too much, people are going to think I'm annoying. If I don't feel like I'm doing a good enough job of vocalizing my thoughts on something, my biggest fear is not communicating something good enough where everything gets twisted around and taken the wrong way. So it's all just this, I'm so leery about public speaking and my awkwardness and my confidence. It's something that I have to work on actively every single day. So that is my biggest challenge, but hopefully I get better. Question 8, what kind of books do I like to read? As I get older, I love series. I don't like standalone novels. I like some standalone novels, but I prefer series. I love getting fully immersed in a world and it's an escape. So I really like sci-fi and fantasy. I love YA fantasy, and I also love adult fantasy. So what kind of books do I like to read? The more fantastical and expansive, the better. I think that was the last question. This was really fun. I like this. Hopefully that gave you a little bit more to learn about me. And please subscribe to this channel. If you have any ideas for what you'd like to see, or even just comment what kind of books you've read lately, I'm always looking to add things to my TBR list. Thanks for watching. Bye!